Several pianists today in the lobby and then here on the stage. So Dylan Castaneda, Trin Luong, Sam Pressure, Ariana Wolf, and again, Tony Worley. Let's give them all a big round of applause. It's wonderful to be with y'all today. If you don't know who I am, I'm Michael Jacobson. I'm the President and CEO of the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce. I thank y'all for joining us for the 11th annual State of the District Address with the Arlington Independent School District in this really amazing building. Is this not, I mean, I don't have words for it, but it's awesome. It really is. By the way, there is words for it right here if I'd have looked down. It's stunning. There we go. There's a word. It's stunning. To help show off some of the acoustics, which we are also just getting the pleasure of the acoustics, let's bring on to the stage KECIA Mullins. She's a senior from Martin High School to sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, thank you, KECIA. I tell you, Arlington just has unbelievable music talent. It shouldn't be a surprise, by the way, that KECIA was chosen for the all-state choir. So let's give her a round of applause for that as well. So welcome to the AISD's new Center for Visual and Performing Arts. This is a great addition to our city, and I know our community is excited to celebrate the talents of our young people with this state-of-the-art venue. And I highly encourage all of y'all that when the event's over, if you hadn't had a chance, walk around. I think we're going to have people here who can do a tour to help you see. I don't know that the art hall had been open yet, but it will be open, and make sure you do walk around. It is a beautiful facility, and there's a lot to see. One could ask, why is the Chamber so committed to education? As an organization, the Chamber's mission is together we champion economic and community prosperity. We believe that economic and community prosperity are intrinsically linked, and we're committed as an organization to developing our community's future. Our goal is to bring everyone together to make our community the best it can be. We do this through our invaluable partnerships, like the partnerships we have with Arlington ISD, Tarrant County College, the University of Texas at Arlington, just to mention a few. Education is key to our prosperity, and we continue to cultivate these partnerships to ensure that jobs available in our community can be filled by those that live in our community and love this city and love this region as much as we do. As business and community leaders, we have a responsibility to develop the next generation of leaders. We'll do this by investing time and resources in new and innovative educational initiatives. Places like where we are standing today and the Dan Dipert Career Technology Technical Center allow Arlington to shine as the pinnacle of what education can be for our youth. Look around us. This is a monument to what education can be. It's more than a textbook. It's an experience that guides what you will become. By investing in all pathways of education, be it fine arts or STEM or various trades, our school district is dedicated to helping the students of our community become their best selves. It's through experiential learning that AISD gives students the opportunity to achieve their dreams, and they are making an incredible impact one student at a time. Thank you to Dr. CAVAZOS, the AISD Board of Trustees, for your leadership and perseverance through seemingly impossible circumstances over the last 2 years. Thank you to the administration and the staff for your diligence and hard work to ensure success not only over the past 18 months, but success as we move forward. Thank you to the teachers on the front lines of educating our community youth. And finally, thank you to the parents and families for stepping in and stepping up to help support and encourage their students. This event today is made possible through the generous support of our business community. I want to thank our sponsors, and let me start with our gold sponsors. And as I always say, feel free to applaud. Don't hold, no need to. Linebarger, Goggin, Blair, and Sampson. Payco Southwest Realty. The City of Arlington, the University of Texas at Arlington. Thank you to our silver sponsors, LBL Architects, Purdue, Brandon, Fielder, Collins, and Mott, Six Flags Over Texas, Hurricane Harbor, Tarrant County College Southeast Campus. And then you'll see on screens behind me our bronze sponsors. We appreciate our bronze sponsors very much as well. We're truly appreciate all of your investment in the state of the district and in the chamber, as well as your dedication to our community's future. We also want to thank one additional sponsor of our education efforts, Charlie BLAUVELT of Edward Jones Investments. I'm going to have Charlie start coming forward. Charlie stepped up during a global pandemic and sponsored the What's Your Big Idea Entrepreneurship Contest, providing iPads to all of our first place winners and investing in the future entrepreneurs of our community. In fact, we just had an event 2 nights ago celebrating our high school contest winners over the past 2 years, and I know Dan was there and he'll agree. Charlie blew us all away with his comments, so I'm putting pressure on him now. So here to talk briefly about the importance of youth entrepreneurship is an entrepreneur in his own right, Charlie BLAUVELT.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone. It was such an honor to be able to be a sponsor of the What's Your Big Idea contest. These kids just really took me by surprise. I couldn't believe it. I mean, when I was their age, I was still pushing a lawnmower. It was just unbelievable. And here they were showing off not just their innovation, not just their creativity, but they were demonstrating true leadership skills and true teamwork to solve real-world issues. I couldn't be prouder than all of the participants that participated in that event. It gives me great hope in our future. A few nights ago, earlier this week, I shared with a few of the participants that I didn't always know what I wanted to do whenever I grew up. I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do. It turns out that after trying several times, I was 28 years old. I found myself broke, divorced, living on friends' couches with my 3-year-old daughter. And then I found out that the problem was me. You see, I'd been trying to fit myself into a mold my whole life that wasn't created for me. And it wasn't until I determined that I wanted to be an integral part of other people's success that I really started to take charge of my own destiny. That was my purpose. That was my why. That was what was going to get me out of bed every day and help me to make that day better than my last. So That's why I believe so strongly in entrepreneurship. I want our young people to understand that it doesn't matter where you start, it doesn't matter where you come from, it only matters how you run the race, and then realize that you are your only competitor. It's our responsibility as a community to be good stewards of what was passed down to us, and then be the support structure to build up our future generations. We need to work together. We need to be encouragers. We need to be mentors. We need to be living examples for our youth so that we can develop leaders that will have an entrepreneurial spirit that will continue to flourish in this can-do city and make this world an even better place. So I'm Charlie BLAUVELT. God bless you all.
All right, thank you, Charlie. We appreciate it very much. We appreciate your support and commitment to entrepreneurship. We have a few more people I'd like to recognize. We're privileged to have a host of elected officials here to show their support to AISD initiatives. I'll ask you to stand, and this time I'm going to ask we don't applaud until the end. So I'm mixing it up on you. So stand and then just stay standing. I know people want to stand to sit down, but stay standing until we announce everybody, please. From the state of Texas, we have Senator Beverly Powell. We also have, and I don't know that I've seen him, but Representative Tony Tinderholt. Is Tony out there? I don't see Tony. Okay. From Tarrant County, we have Judge Glenn Whitley, and we have Judge Mary Tom Kernut. And Commissioner Devin Allen, thank you. She's our commissioner. Thank you, Devin. From the city of Arlington, we have Mayor Jim Ross. We've got Mayor Pro Tem Dr. Victoria Farrar-Myers. We have council members Raul Gonzalez, Nikki Hunter, Dr. Barbara Odom Wesley, Andrew Pill, and Ruby Woolridge. In addition, we have with us today the mayor of Dalworthington Gardens, Lori Bianco. We have the mayor of Pantego, Doug Davis, and we have the Pantego Mayor Pro Tem, Fred Adair. And because it is State of the District, we have all of our Board of Trustees. So we have KECIA Mays, the president, Justin Chapa, Melody Fowler, Bowie Hogg, Sarah McMurrow, Dr. Aaron Reich, and David Wilbanks. We also have with us our educational partners. So we have the interim president of the University of Texas at Arlington, Dr. Tech Lim. We have from Tarrant County College, Chancellor Dr. Eugene Giovannini. And we have the president of Tarrant County College Southeast Campus, Dr. Bill Coppola. Now, let's thank all of these folks and give them a big round of applause. Before we introduce the man of the hour, and we're getting there, we got one more before. I want to recognize our very special council at the Chamber. Our Partners in Education program brings together the leaders of our great district with business leaders in our community. Partners in Education, PI for short, shapes the greater Arlington's future workforce through educational initiatives that have continuous touch points throughout elementary, junior high, and high school. Thank you to those who serve on our Partners in Education Advisory Council and the subcommittees, which help us accomplish these great programs like the What's Your Big Idea Entrepreneurship Contest, where during a pandemic we had 2,300 AISD students submit innovative ideas to create new businesses or solve community challenges. Or our various scholarship programs where we awarded 25 scholarships totaling more than $68,000. Or our student practicum program where we engage the business community with the district to provide internship placement opportunities for 197 seniors at over 50 local businesses throughout our community. I'd like our current chair, Stephanie Willman, and with Six Flags Over Texas, and our incoming chair, Scott Parsonen, who's a community entrepreneurship consultant. Let's have both of them stand up and give them a round of applause. And if you're on the committee, stand up and let us give you a round of applause. You can't talk about pie without talking about one individual. So Mike Sinattle, I know you're out there somewhere. Where's Mike? There he is. We'll have Mike stand up. All right. Mike was chair of the pie committee for, I believe, 16 years. He has been committed to education for Arlington and for our broader community for many years. He's worked at Tarrant County College for 40 years. He's now the assistant to the president of the Southeast campus. But people all around here know Mike and the great work that he's done. I'm having him stand up because if you haven't heard, he's retiring after 40 years with TCC. Let's give him a round of applause. All right, now, thank you, Mike. Now I'm done praising people and programs, and let's bring up who I believe is really a tremendous president of a school board, and that's KECIA Mays. She's been doing this for about 3 years. She's been on the board for 7. She is absolutely committed to the students of Arlington ISD, and she's committed to a bright future. And we'll have you come on up, KECIA. Thank you very much.
Well, welcome home, everybody. This is definitely a location that was built by the community through bond funds. So welcome home.
Take that.
I might have got thirsty. Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is so good to see everyone here. Welcome to the State of the District 2021. Today, I have the distinct honor to introduce our superintendent of schools. We have spent many, many hours together via Zoom, via phone call, via coffee shop, via restaurant, making sure that we were working on behalf of the students and staff of Arlington ISD. And I can tell you with 100% certainty that this is an exceptional leader, Dr. MARCELO CAVAZOS. When storms are raging, you want a leader with a steady hand, and we have that here in Arlington ISD. When you have challenges and uncertainties, things are unpredictable, you want a thoughtful leader, and we have that here in Arlington ISD. When your staff is exhausted and wondering if things are really making a difference, you want a motivational, empathetic leader, and we do have that here in Arlington ISD. And so much more with Dr. MARCELO CAVAZOS. He has dedicated his life to the education of children so that every single one of them can exceed their opportunities and their dreams. In his words, education is the great equalizer. In my words, leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. The paths that have been created under his leadership for our staff to have a trajectory towards leadership opportunities within AISD is definitely noteworthy. He is humble. He does not seek accolades. Isn't that right, Dr. Capolo? We are so fortunate that he has been at the helm for the past 8 years and into years to come. Please help me welcome our superintendent, Dr. MARCELO CAVAZOS.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, evening, whatever time it is. Thank you so much for joining us. It's good to see you in person, live, not in Zoom. Who knew that remote work for Bill was the golf course? I'm kidding, Bill. It wasn't the golf course. It just felt that way. But I'm so glad to see you in person because it brings back a sense of normalcy. And I hope you've enjoyed thus far what you've seen in this facility. If you have been with us in State of the Districts, we had it at the PDC. So we had to sell it to afford this. No, I'm kidding. We didn't have to sell it. It's actually still there. We still use it. But We have made great progress because our community is behind us. So I want to take a moment to sincerely thank everyone who is here and who's watching online. You know, I see many people here. Thank you, KECIA, for the kind words. But I see many people here who I leaned on and counted on for guidance, support, your words of wisdom during this pandemic and even now, the challenges that we're facing. And I want to point out a few people. Later I'll make fun of them, but right now it's serious, right? I want to point out a few people. Judge Whitley. Judge, thank you so much. Conference call after conference call, your leadership, when things were, very unstable at the early stages. And I appreciate you very much. Vinny Taneja, who I know is not here, but who works with you tirelessly. Just thank you so much. Chief Krausen, who is here. He was introduced, maybe not, he was there. Chief Krausen from our Arlington Fire Department. Just amazing people. Dr. Cynthia Simmons, the Chief Medical Officer for the city of Arlington. I just want to thank you on behalf of our students and our community. And I thank you for still taking my calls. Because we're not done, right? Still taking my calls. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about how our district views our work going forward. So it's about acceleration of our people, our programs, and our progress. And I know that many parents and students, and we'll speak transparently about our challenges, but our challenges don't define us. What defines us is how we meet those challenges. But I'm going to speak transparently about our challenges, and it's just not unique to Arlington. It's really the whole public education because of our pandemic. And there's been a loss of learning, a learning gap, COVID loss, call it what you want, for our students. And we know that's real. Their education was disrupted. But in the Arlington ISD, we're focused on accelerating our students, not remediating. Those two things are really different. You spend a lot of time, and you can, if you want, on remediation. But acceleration is really the key. And acceleration is not easy. Our people, our staff, and our students have been and continue to be our highest priority. They've been deeply impacted by COVID-19. And we want to encourage them and support them to move them forward. We want to accelerate opportunities that they have the resources that they need. When we look at our current conditions, we know it's challenging. We compare STAR test scores from 19 to 21. We've seen drastic drops, not just Arlington, throughout the whole state. We've dropped in math by 21 points, science by 14 points. And like I said, it's a transparent conversation. It's what we're dealing with. But we know that there's been a variable of a pandemic. But we also know that our students can achieve. Because our STAR results, as daunting as they are, we know that before the pandemic, we're on a strong path in Arlington ISD because of our teachers, our students, and the performance. We saw exceptional growth of our student learning scores, earning an 86 from Texas Education Agency, the most recent ratings that we have, 19. That was an increase of 7 points. And that was hard work from our students and our staff and our community and our families. But we know that it can be accomplished. So when there's a disruption, you look, well, what do we have in our system that shows us the path forward? And what we have in our system is success. And we know formulas of success. And so today's environment, we're into the recovery period. A recovery period that we can, as a community in Arlington, feel confident that the people in our educational system, most importantly our students, can accomplish great things. We have an opportunity through ESSER funding, federal government funding of about $134 million, that we can create paths of acceleration. It's an infusion of funds for us in public education. But we know that sustainability is important of that $134 million because it'll go away in 3 years. So the challenge with the funding as one big component is to build capacity in the organization so that when the funding is gone, we have the knowledge and the skills and the dedication and the encouragement to persist. And so this funding, you see up on the screen, or maybe not. I can't see the screen, by the way, but that's a minor point. We just opened the building. So you close the gaps in student learning, and somebody's running it, so I'm sure they're doing a good job. Social, emotional well-being of our students, equity and sustainability. These things are really important. We've developed 6 guiding principles to carry out our work. And I know that this sounds like, boy, this is like education talk. Well, you're in the state of the district, right? So in case you didn't know, it's not just barbecue. You came to education, right? So 6 guiding principles. Stick to grade level content, and you can see them up there if they're back there. Focus on depth of instruction, prioritize content and learning. Ensure inclusion of every learner. Identify gaps and address them. And then capitalize on commonalities. These are guiding principles as we develop a plan of how we use this funding. And then we set goals to maximize that. Once we determine our challenges, we have to continue to ensure that our students are kindergarten ready and accelerate their learning and monitor their growth. These are things we've done before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and we're going to do moving forward. Because the tools and the resources to improve and to accelerate and to catch our students up, etc., they're within our organization. So transitioning a little bit to summer learning as an example of an intervention strategy. More than 11,000 students participated in our summer learning program. That's amazing, because that participation rate has gone up twice and double of years past. Why? Because our community, our parents, our staff, they're committed to making sure that when students are behind or they have gaps, that they're going to get accelerated. We had a summer bridge program for algebra to offer extended day classes. We had a care clinic for students and teachers, because we know it's not about STAR, all about STAR. STAR is important, but it's not all about STAR. It's what you bring to the class, your social, your emotional learning and well-being. And our care clinic with 41 licensed professionals that work in the district, we stood up a clinic for our students and staff. And we want to create every opportunity to close those gaps in learning. The pandemic showed us that there are significant challenges across our community. And I've had this discussion with a number of you. We knew in our school system that there was a digital divide. We knew there was food insecurity for many of our students because we deal with it every day. The pandemic brought that to light to our entire community, state, and nation, of just how much of a divide there is. We know that daily food for family extends well beyond our schools. For the next school year, every student will eat free breakfast and lunch in Arlington ISD. Every single student. And we have that opportunity with federal funding, our partnerships, and it's a necessity as we recover what we've gone through. The other side of accelerating our people applies to our staff. The value of a teacher. People thought they knew the value of a teacher before the pandemic. Oh, just take a few things to the school, send them a little card, maybe some refreshments. Well, during the pandemic, parents and community, we all realized, we knew it, but we all collectively as a society realized how important and valuable teachers are. So I'm just going to, every time, for a while, I'm just going to pause here and I just say, let's give a round of applause to anybody who's a teacher. And one way to do that we honor our teachers every month is a Teacher of the Month for elementary, junior high, and high school. And we have about 4,500 teachers, and every month we pick one from each grade level and one employee. And we ask them, we don't tell them. I go to their classroom and I surprise them. And we just walk in with the principal and say, well, first they're like, what do you want? Like, they're shocked, right? And I said, no, this is a friendly visit. I actually had a teacher say, you know, I thought I was in trouble. I said, I wouldn't like come to your classroom if you were in trouble. But no, I said, no, you're not in trouble. You're not in trouble. This is a positive thing. But we take a moment to visit their classroom. And and I do this, and it's really embarrassing to a teacher. But I often ask the students, you know, we present them with an award and things. And I often ask the students, elementary, junior high, and high school, by the way, tell me why you love your teacher. And the teacher has to stand there turning red and all that. I've interrupted instruction, by the way, but it's okay. We have some time around here. And he or she's turning red, and the students go on and on, raising their hand, why they love their teacher. And I remember going to a teacher at the Career Tech Center, and every student wanted to say something. Unsolicited, they didn't know it was coming, unrehearsed, and that teacher was in tears. And that's just because the value of a classroom teacher. So we have some of those Teacher of the Month individuals here today. So if you're a Teacher of the Month, would you just stand up, wave, and let us know you're here? Thank you so much. You represent the very best in our organization, and I appreciate you very much. On top of these employees, right, on top of all that, we also have 4 others who are being honored today. I hope they know that they're being honored today. I'm sure they do. As Texas Trust heroes. And I'm going to invite Jim Mingy, the CEO of Texas Trust, to come up as I tell you about them. But I'm going to first say a little bit about Jim. Oh, God, did you hear that? He was, okay. Jim, if you've ever been to Jones Academy, there's an outdoor performing area that was all donated by Texas Trust, the funding for that entire outdoor performing area. And today, Jim has committed, because we needed another one. I'm kidding. That's not why he's here. That's not why he's here. We're not going to do that to Jim. All right. So I'm going to introduce the teachers, and Jim has some words as well here in a minute. So some teachers that are going to be honored today. Matt Bostic. He's our PE teacher at Duff Elementary. Some of you might remember Matt because he was the star of the award-winning Workout Wednesdays during our pandemic. He put down videos, and he invited people to go and do the workouts with him. I was booked, so I couldn't go. But Anthony went, and Anthony, he's over there. He couldn't keep up, and he's just outstanding. Mark Bostic. And then part of our leadership definition, I'm going to introduce all 3. Is that right? Okay. Part of our leadership definition is putting students first. And Denise Bailey from Carter Junior High did just that. She made sure that students not only had their needs met in the classroom, but also in the home. And if that meant driving to a student's house to make sure they had everything they needed, she did it. Denise represents what it means to put students first in Arlington ISD. Denise, congratulations. The third is Teresa Menard from Seguin High School. And she adjusted the way she taught during COVID. Already a standout classroom teacher, already. She shifted her focus to make sure her students were also taken care of emotionally. She created highly engaging lessons during virtual learning, and this showed in her class and her attendance numbers, which were difficult during the pandemic. Hers were on the top. Students didn't want to miss her class. Many of you remember not wanting to miss class, I'm sure. And finally, as our employee that we're going to recognize, not a teacher, but one of our employee staff members, we have Annette Minnerly. Annette is our Director of Health Services. And boy, do I need to say any more during the pandemic. She's helped the district navigate through ever-changing protocols, guidelines, and everything else that has come our way. She never misses a beat. She's very transparent and open with me and tells me things that make me think. And so I just appreciate her honesty and the candor that she has and the relationship we have. So at this time, I'll ask Jim to say a few words. I don't know if that one's on, but thank you, Jim, for doing this.
Thank you, Dr. Cavazos. It's always a pleasure. I saw him when we were having lunch, and he said, are you sure you want to be part of this program? And 5 words came into my mind: be afraid, be very afraid. So thank you for not disappointing me, Dr. Cavazos. And, you know, so many heroes over the last 16 months. It's just amazing. The front lines folks that have been providing services and helping people. But Washima, who works with us, had a great idea. Let's recognize the teacher heroes who found ways to engage with kids remotely, which, I mean, I run a lot of meetings too. Man, is that hard. I can't imagine what you guys did. And the folks that, you know, made sure that our kids got food and that they had the technology they needed. It's just amazing what you guys did over the last 16, 18 months. And we just want to recognize that. We got a little bit of money to give away, which is always nice. But thank you for letting us be a part of that recognition, Dr. Cavazos.
They're coming up here, and they'll get their check. It's good only at Texas Trust? No, I'm kidding. It's good anywhere.
And Washima has the real one.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's good. It won't fit in the wallet. Oh, that's Spence. He used to work for us. No, he still does. Till about 2 o'clock. It's all good. By the way, today's a teacher work day, is that right? Yeah. And they're good spirits to be here. They'd rather be... No? Okay. Honesty is something we practice in Arlington. Thank you very much. Spence knows exactly how far he can go back. Just makes me really nervous. All right, thank you all very much. Thank you, Jim. Another way we accelerated our staff is because of the Arlington voters. We had a VATRE election, as you know, and our community supported that. And I know it was difficult. It was a difficult time, but Arlington ISD had waited to do a VATRE election for many years, and it was just the time had come that we needed that funding because of the state finance system. That if you ever want to know any more about that, Judge Whitley will be happy to give you a lesson on the state funding system and a seminar on that. But we don't have time for that, but I'm sure he has opinions about it. I've heard him. So we were able to do a 4% back-to-back raise last summer and this summer for all our employees, 4% back-to-back raise. And we want them to be their very best, but we also know that compensation is an important part of retaining and attracting the very best talent that we have. So much so that we got one compliment, we got many compliments, but a rare compliment from our teacher association. I'm kidding, they have compliments us a lot. But this young man over here, Stephen Poole, is the director of our teacher association, one of the teacher associations, the biggest one. And he has boycotted our lunch for many years, and he's here today. So Stephen Poole, would you just say hello? There you go. If you don't know, we have a very good relationship, Stephen and I. So we don't agree on everything, but we agree on many things. So Stephen, thank you for your support. All right, for the past 5 years, we've participated with Holtzworth Leadership Program. We talked about that in a previous State of the District. And we're going to complete that cohort now, this year. But we didn't want that to end our leadership development. And we know we have great leaders in this organization that are critical in different roles. And we have an Aspire program to help that leadership grow in Arlington ISD, as KECIA mentioned. It includes leadership academies for aspiring assistant principals, administrators in mentoring and micro-badging, There are pathways for teachers who don't want to leave the classroom, but they want to be teacher leaders. Because we know that leadership, as it's distributed across the organization, has the biggest impact. Leadership is not a silo. It's not one thing that can be done from one place. It has to grow across the organization. And I thank our board for investing in that and believing in that. And so those who want to progress in their leadership will be able to do it, continue to do it in Arlington. Aspire is in its first full year of implementation and has already produced results. In 2016, we're going to speak again transparently about our organization. 56% of our principals and assistant principals were hired from within Arlington ISD. And you say, well, 56% is pretty good. Well, that's all it was, really, because it wasn't sufficient. And so in 2021, 84% of the positions we hired are within the district today. And that's because of the development. And 50% of the people that were hired were part of this Aspire program. We're investing in people because that's who makes the biggest difference with our students. So today we have Kelsey Wolf, an Aspire AISD Leadership Academy and new assistant principal at Arlington High. Kelsey, I don't know if you're here. Yes, she is. Stand up, Kelsey, and wave. Yes. So she's one of our Aspire leaders. Dallas Nickel, principal resident at Webb Elementary School, is right there. And Clarita Thompson, AIM cohort and new principal at Sherritt Elementary. So congratulations. They represent our individuals in our Aspire program. Accelerating people is paramount, and the district plans to continue with this investment. And thank you to you for your support of bond and VATRE and things like that. Now let's talk a little bit about accelerating programs, which has been a district priority before the pandemic, during the pandemic, continues to be, where we can grow and develop our programs to meet the needs of our students. So on August 16th, our newest P-TECH program will open at Bowie High School. And P-TECH is one more opportunity for students in Arlington ISD to get college credit. It's a partnership with TCC and with Medical City of Arlington to get a college degree, associate's degree, and workforce experience. And this one happens to be in the medical field. And I remember when this opportunity, we were pursuing this opportunity. And it's a little complicated because we make everything in education a bureaucratic complication, if you will. So I'm going to try to simplify it, right? It's very simple. It's another early college, high school type program, but you need an industry partner. That's the key with this one. You have to have the industry partner because it has to have a focus. In this case, it's in the medical profession. And so when this opportunity, and around the state and nation, the biggest challenge is to find that industry partner because they have to commit. They have to open their doors. They have to commit long-term relationship. So I went to Michael Jacobson at the chamber, and I said, well, I'll start with Michael because Michael can understand things, right, Michael? Yeah, generally. Yeah, so I said, well, I'll give it a practice with Michael. Okay, Michael, it's a P-TECH, and the P-TECH, and Michael said, say no more. I know what it is. Very impressive. I don't know if he had another meeting or something he had to get to, but it was very impressive. He says, I know exactly what you're talking about. And sure enough, he described it to me. I said, well, Michael, that's great. I said, you're coming with me. And he said, well, where are we going? I said, well, we're going to go see Keith. Keith, are you here? I don't know if you are. Keith Zimmerman. We're going to go see Keith. He's the CEO of Medical City Arlington. And we're going to talk more about Keith, but not in some few minutes here. And so Michael and I went to see Keith, Medical City of Arlington. And I said, here's what we need. We need you to ask you. I shouldn't say it like that. Here's what we're asking. I get a little carried away. Here's what we're asking. We're asking for you to open your doors for our students so they have opportunities. It's a P-TECH program, an associate's degree. It's a partnership with TCC so that they get their associate's degree and then help them get a job wherever you have demand and things like that. Well, if you think we're a bureaucracy, no, I'm kidding. MCA is not a bureaucracy, but it's a big organization. And Keith said, yes, I'll do it. And without too much explanation, I had more discussion with Michael. Without too much explanation, because Keith understands what we're trying to do. So thank you, Keith. We're opening our P-TECH program, Bowie High School, the first cohort in the medical profession focused on that. So thank you so much. Give him a round of applause. And so part of what sold this is the fact that we have a success rate. And our students have been very successful in early college high schools. And you see it on average in Texas, an early college high school graduates 40% of their students on average with an associate's degree. So early college high school, the concept is you get out with a high school diploma and an associate's degree by the time you graduate from high school. And the statewide average is 40% of the students who are in those programs actually accomplish that. In Arlington, it's 90% of our students earn a high school diploma and an associate's degree, beating the state double digit. So that doesn't just happen. It takes staff, it takes students, commitment, it takes TCC, Bill, Chancellor, thank you for your commitment to this program and this offering, and we appreciate it. So our students are on their way to higher education, and our students will have that success. Also opening on August 16th is the Gunn Junior High Fine Arts and Dual Language Academy. Our students from Corey and Jones, this is the dual language program that we've talked about in the past. Our sixth graders will be going to Gunn Junior High. If you're familiar with Arlington, many of you are, but some may not be knowledgeable of this, which is our junior highs have 7th and 8th graders. We have, in this one, we'll have 6th graders as well. It's a long story, but someday I'll tell you. But they'll have 6th graders there, and this is under construction, and we're completing the work and looking forward to welcoming new students there at our Gunn Junior High. Pre-kinder continues to be a focus. We know pre-kinder is a game changer for students. Because of House Bill 3 and others, we were able to offer full-day pre-kinder. It was during the pandemic, so our enrollment struggled there like it did across the state. But we're happy to start welcoming, in a few days, over 3,000 students to our pre-K program in Arlington. Full-day pre-K in Arlington. Game changer. Last thing I'm going to talk about today is accelerating our progress through some of our bond programs. Our bond programs have been continuing. So you should be seen on the screen, this beautiful building that you're in was part of the 14 bond. And these buildings opened during the school year. Many of our students were virtual learners, but now we're geared up to open it completely for this school year. So this is one from the 14 bond. You see our athletics complex, which is next door, a neighbor of this building, with an auditorium, part of the 14 bond. Our athletic arena next door as well, part of the 14 bond. And then each high school received a branded new band trailer that they can haul their instruments. And so we had a ceremony here in our parking lot where those band trailers that are specific to those high schools to store their instruments when they're traveling to performances. That was a great event. And they all arrived on time, all those band trailers. We opened them, the students were excited, the directors were excited about those band trailers. Yes, band trailers are important, that's why it's part of the presentation, so don't question that. I see the look that you have. All right. We also started the process of installing our new playgrounds at every elementary school, 2 new playgrounds. These are appropriately sized. They have a covered area for our teachers. I'm kidding, for our students. But the teachers love it, by the way, recess, right? They have a covered area, the soft surface, access to all students. That was the standard by our school board. They said these playgrounds are going to have access for all students, and it does. They have no more of that pea gravel. That's gone. We actually used it to build some of the foundation, but that's a long story. But it's actually not there. And so this is a game changer for us because it puts emphasis on the well-being of students as they take inside the building and outside the building. And so we opened these new playgrounds. We opened our first one at Piercy STEM Academy. And I was there for the ribbon cutting. And it's very interesting when you're building these playgrounds at the elementary school because it takes a while to build the playgrounds. You're familiar with that. But we have to take out the other playground, right? The old one, because that's where we're building them. And so the students along the school year, they're watching their playground being built and anticipating that, like really anticipating that. And I thought, well, I heard, yes, okay, I'm sure they are. until we did the groundbreaking and the ribbon cutting. And I was there with the big scissors and the principal, and we were all smiling, and this was going to be great. And the students were waiting to come into the playground. And so I thought, okay, well, the teachers say, they've really been anticipating this. I said, okay, that sounds good. So we cut the ribbon flew, and they ran. They almost ran over us. They were running to that playground. They've been waiting months to get to that playground. That's the kind of joy that these things bring. We know that, and that's important. We closed 2 of our elementary schools in May, Knox and Roark. And we joined teachers and students, and we broke ground at Webb Elementary School. So we closed some schools. You're already laughing. We closed some schools. We broke ground at Webb Elementary. And so this gets a little complicated. You should maybe see the construction of Webb, maybe, okay? It opens Monday. I'm kidding. It doesn't open Monday. It doesn't. That's a joke. We have a school, and we'll finish this one, demolish the other. But it's an integrated project, interdependent. So these projects are part of the bond. We're rebuilding schools in Arlington, aged facilities, right? And so but it's complicated because you have to have a place for the students and all this. You know that, right? And so I remember talking to Trey Elverton about this because, all the trouble that the city, no, I'm kidding. They don't give us trouble. But Trey, where are you, Trey? Oh, there he is. Okay. Well, special seating for Trey. Okay. But here's the thing. So I explained it because we needed, where we're building Carter Junior High, there's the city park. And so we wanted to swap so that we'll put the city park where Roark is, and we'll build Carter where the city park is and where Knox is. But it'll be the temporary Thornton. And at Roark will be the temporary Barry. And Trey was like scratching his head. I said, just sign the paper, just swap the park. And he said, well, I have to understand it. I said, Trey, just trust me. It's a park, does it have the same value? Of course it does. Of course it does. So, Trey, thank you for your leadership in that. I sincerely appreciate it. Which, by the way, I met with the new mayor, Jim Ross. Thank you for being here. We had a great meeting. And he said, what can I do for you? Well, you never tell me that. You just, Trey knows that. He doesn't even come with a piece of paper anymore to my meetings. But, and I said, well, Mayor, Trey said he was going to waive all the permit fees. And we just haven't gotten to it. And he said, well, done. No, it's not true. I'm kidding, Jim. Thank you. But we did have a great conversation. I didn't even ask for the permits to be waived because we'll happily pay those permits that are a little overpriced. But we'll happily, everybody else pays them apparently. No, we have a great relationship. Thank you, Jim, for being here. Appreciate you very much. All right, so our students were really excited about the new Webb Elementary, of all these facilities, but the new Webb Elementary was a really exciting thing. And you know how people say, well, go to the end user and ask them how this, get their input. Forget architects, not really, but kind of forget architects, go to the end user. So we said, okay, we'll go to students. And our architects have that as part of their planning for our bond. You have to ask the students, you have to have a committee, you have to have people working there. And they did at Webb, and they got a lot of energy around that. And so there was a young man named Hector. Hector gave input. I think Hector wants to be an architect, by the way. And he gave a lot of input. So when we went to the groundbreaking, I knew that we had a committee and all that. But when we went to the groundbreaking, Hector was there because he's a student there. And he stopped me as I was walking in the field and stuff. And to the groundbreaking, he said, I had input on this. I said, goodness, I hope we're building whatever he wants. And I asked him, and I engaged with him, and he told me this is really cool, and we have good space, and we need a new school. And I said, it's coming. And I want to recognize Hector. Hector's here today, actually. Hector, would you stand up, Hector? Yeah. Hector drove here. I'm kidding. No. Hector has parents, and would you, parents, wave, yeah. Hector's parents. And man, I tell you, there is nothing like seeing the joy in a young person's life when they're expecting something and appropriately resourced. If you've been to Webb Elementary, it's a great campus, great culture. But it's an aged facility. There's no doubt. Carter is too. You know, Thornton, Barry. But when you see the excitement that Hector and other students have that day of just the groundbreaking, it's really telling. And we do this for students across the district, and Hector represents those students. So thank you, Hector, for being here. We also had the media there on our groundbreaking, and Hector spoke to them or with them on camera and all that. Hector just wants to go back to a normal life, actually. He doesn't want any more of this attention. I think he's done with me, but thank you, Hector, and we look forward to making sure that building has everything you asked for. All right, so Barry and Thornton will open temporarily in the former Knox and Roark, so you see some of that, but here's the Barry elementary rendering. I hope that's up there. And I remember we asked the teachers at Thornton, you know, what's the most exciting thing about getting a new building someday? And they said, plugs. I said, plugs, yeah, apparently there's not enough outlets, obviously, in these old buildings, so plugs was really important. But we know these schools were built in the 50s, and we're redesigning them, and now going to have brand new facilities. Thornton Elementary rendering is up there. Really awesome what it's going to do to that area in Arlington. We also have a new food services headquarters because that operation is important for it to continue and to have its very best. Also, if you don't know, we'll be moving our central office to the former Enterprise building, just north of I-30. We've owned this building for a number of years, and it was a time to consolidate our staff. We've been wanting to consolidate and bring everyone as much as possible to one location. So our central office, if you pass by it, it has a sign. That's where we'll be. And it's an opportunity for us to gain efficiency, but also to make sure that we have appropriate space for people to do their best work. Because like we want teachers to do their best work, we also want district staff to collaborate and do their best work to serve our classrooms and our students. So this will be the new administration building, and you might be seeing maybe a boardroom that will also be part of that. And I would just want to thank publicly Kelly Horn. He's our assistant superintendent for facilities. Thank you, Kelly. Wave, Kelly, so people can see. I always point him out. When there's a problem, we call Kelly and about any construction, but he does a great job. And sitting next to Kelly, Dan, I forgot to mention that about the piano. So thank you, Dan, for donating the piano that's out in the lobby. This is the Dan Dipert family had the donation for that. And we appreciate your support, Dan, for many years. So thank you so much. All right, so as we are wrapping up now, I do want to recognize a few partners. Every year we give some awards to some partners of the district. And so I'm going to start with recognizing the Just Keep Living Foundation, headed by Matthew and Camilla McConaughey. After the devastating winter storm in February, we were left with $6 million in damage and more than 20 of our locations. Matthew's foundation heard about our plight and asked us to be part of We're Texas. You may have seen that on YouTube. Last month, they presented us with a check of $250,000 to cover the cost of our deductible. I explained that we have a deductible, right? We have insurance, but we have a deductible, and they were very generous. Obviously, Matthew's not here today. If you were, you wouldn't be listening to anything I'd be saying. You'd just be wanting to take a picture with Matthew McConaughey. He isn't here, but we're gonna mail this award to him as a Community Partner of the Year to his foundation in California. So, round of applause for Matthew McConaughey. Just keep living. Next, as I mentioned in my presentation, that we entered into a partnership with the Medical City of Arlington. And I was in jest and giving you a summary of that, but what we really need to realize is that this is a big commitment by a hospital. It is a big commitment because they're committing to us and to partner with our students. And it's not easy. They have regulations of how old you have to be and all those things. And our partnership with Medical City of Arlington for our new P-TECH program is amazing. Again, you can't have a P-TECH program unless you have an industry partner, and it has to be a significant one. And so they've committed to providing training, mentoring, internships to our students. And when they finish their education, they'll be able to be hired there at Medical City of Arlington or other healthcare facilities or healthcare programs. And to show our appreciation for our investment to our students, we're honored to present the Educational Partner of the Year Award to Keith Zimmerman, the CEO of Medical City of Arlington. Keith, come on up. Keith is not sure he'll ever come back to this program. No, he will. Keith, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you very much. And finally, in this segment of honoring, I'd like to recognize the Arlington Fire Department under the leadership of Chief Crossan, Don Crossan, for their ongoing support this past year. I don't know if the Chief and I have had more conversations before this pandemic. We've had many, but during the pandemic, we really had many. And not only for your continual advice, Chief, because you have a lot of wisdom and your counsel. But you were a game changer for us when the vaccine became available, widely available, and then it became available for students. You generously cut through all the red tape, and I know there isn't a lot at the city of red tape. It's true, it's not that much anymore. You cut through all that and you said, look, what do you need? Again, be careful telling me that, but what do you need? And I told him, I said, Chief, we have this day where all our staff is in a work day, basically. If you could establish a clinic that day, and we'd run buses and we'd have our staff in there, take whoever wants it, the vaccine, so that we can safely continue to reopen school. And Chief Crossan said, absolutely. We'll get it done. And then when the vaccine became available for students 12 and up, the same thing. He said, we'll do it, whatever you need. And so many other things, Chief, that you've done for us and for our community. So at this time, I'd like for you to come up and accept our Community Partner of the Year Award. Chief Crossan. All right, so as I conclude my remarks today, I want to just sincerely thank you from the bottom of my heart. I've been superintendent now 9 years. This is going on my 10th year. I know time flies when you're having fun. And we've gone through all kinds of challenges, but we've persevered because of who we are in Arlington, the people in Arlington, the board that we have in Arlington. And from the bottom of my heart, as I represent students and staff, big organization, a sincere thank you. We cannot do it alone. And that's not just a cliche, we really can't. We need your support in mentoring, honoring, celebrating, helping our students and our staff, and all of us be successful. Our collective power is amazing, and Arlington proves that every single day. And I'm blessed to be the superintendent of Arlington. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great rest of the day. Michael Sens. Thank you very much.
All right, that's a standing ovation that's well-deserved. So thank you, Dr. CAVAZOS, KECIA, our elected officials from the Board of Trustees, our mayor, everybody that's here. The cooperation this past year, I just can tell you, as being kind of off to the side watching it, in it a little bit. It's been amazing. I do want to thank Alicia Collins Butler. I talked about the PI Committee. She's the staff person at the Chamber, Director of Education and Community Development. Thank you. Thank you to all the staff who helped put this together. Thank you to our sponsors. And again, I want to reiterate thank you to our teachers. As Marcelo knows, my daughter-in-law is a teacher. I wanted her to be here. She said, I'm way too busy to come here. So she didn't come here. We have a birthday party tonight for my wife with my extended family. I can't come to that. I got volleyball tonight. So I see firsthand the commitment of our teachers to this district. And, you know, as has been pointed out today, we appreciate them so much for everything they've done. Y'all have a great day.